Hello, everybody.
Okay, we're gonna double check, make sure we are live here and that you can actually hear what we're saying.
Yes, since we had that one day that we had like a 26-minute stream of no sound.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
But assuming you can hear us,
Test 1, 2.
welcome to Smackdown review recap. You can in fact hear us, as we just discovered. So, welcome. Last night was
WWE Smackdown from London, England, the
Yeah.
UK for 3/28/25
Mm-hmm.
or 20. I don't know. They do it weird over there. It's 25.
No, they do it the correct way. We do it the stupid way.
No, I say this is the right way. They do it the other way. I think 25/3/25.
No, they do it 28/3/25. The correct way that the entire rest of the world fucking does it. Anyway, we're not going to get down that tangent because
See, I don't understand that. I don't understand the logic.
day, month, year. It's so unbelievably simple.
Yeah, but never mind. We're not going to go down that road.
Yeah, because it pisses me off. Anyway, Cody starts the show off.
Well, first off, I want to bring up what is actually first. Because
Oh, yes.
Lillian Garcia is no longer on SmackDown. She will still continue to do special events and Saturday Night Main Event. So we got Mark Nash, which that's not his real name. It's something else.
Like his stage name.
Yeah.
Like Seth Rollins, CM Punk.
Yeah, they gave, which I've never heard of, but irrelevant. He's a boxing announcer from like Vegas. He does some like shows in Vegas, things like that. Football, soccer. I think he's the house announcer for one of the teams in Vegas. I have to bring Friday and write it all down. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna get to this. I don't know what this all was, and we're just gonna start with that.
You mean this 24-minute waste of time?
Because I'm gonna tell you this: Cody started the show. You're right, but we had what 5-10 minutes of
Cody Rhodes, Cody. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand. You know, they're overseas, the crowds are really excited, and they want to chant. That's fine. But when they just stand there and don't say anything for like 5 minutes, it gets really old really fast.
Yeah, it's boring for us, and on our end.
On the TV end, where like 99% of the people are watching this.
But the only words he truly gets out for real is that WrestleMania 41. I will face John Cena as he goes for the record to 17.
Which, like, we didn't already know that for the past month and a half, or however long it's been.
Then Randy's music hits, and this really. It had nothing to do with it. It's basically, what's the word I'm looking for? He was blowing smoke up his ass.
Yeah, he says, you know, I'm not the sentimental type, but for you in London, look at who you are. Look at where you come from. I remember Cody Rhodes in your early 20s busting your ass. You weren't happy, you were frustrated, so you left and you took the balls to leave this company and do what you did. Change the business, and I appreciate you for it. And you came back, and this industry has been changed forever because of you. Remember when this man faced Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell with a torn tricep pack?
Torn pack muscle.
Torn pec, whatever. And you came, lost my place. You stuck it out and you won the match with a torn pack, went on to beat Roman Reigns in the main event and finish the story. You're in charge of your legacy. Ticket sales are up, merchandise is up, and it is 99.9% because of you. I'm proud of you, but it's time for WrestleMania. I guarantee I'm going to kick Kevin Owens in the head, remove his head from his shoulders. You're going to walk out of WrestleMania champ, and after you beat the hell out of John Cena, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, there's gonna come a time I want to come after 15. But I won't kick you in the balls like a coward. I will look you in the eyes because I respect you. I consider you an equal, maybe even far superior to me. And I'm going to tell you I'm coming for this. So once again,
And then you have Captain Crybaby.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew comes out there. He says they were having a love fest in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, he's like, this love fest is making me sick.
Honestly, I agree.
It was. I agree with that, but it was the fact that, like I've said before, Drew is just. He doesn't. It's not that he doesn't speak fact most of the time. Most of the time. Because I've already picked holes in. I've never, I've done nothing wrong, type crap.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've already picked holes in his bullshit.
Exactly.
But most of the time, Drew does have a point.
Yeah, but he says, this love fest in the middle of the ring is making me sick. If Cody gets through John Cena at Mania, you're coming for that title. What have you done to earn it? To get to the back of the line. And Cody, you should have listened to me. But instead you attacked me.
Everybody should have listened.
Oh yeah, everybody should have listened to me.
John Cena about John Cena.
But they didn't. And the night after he kicked you and proved me right, and Mania should be Cody Rhodes versus me. But no, because of the Timu Undertaker Damian Priest, it won't be. That makes that title
from him. That makes that title from him. It should be me and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Tell me.
And then Randy is like, tell me you have a point. The voices are talking again. Tell you oh, no. This is still Drew talking. I'm sorry.
Tell me the point. The voices are talking to you again. Tell the truth. You look great.
You look jacked on the outside.
Inside, that back is hanging on by a thread.
And I'm going to snap it.
Yeah, and as for Cody, just fucking smacks him.
Yep.
Does the whole drop. I forget what he calls it.
The
curtain call or
I don't know.
I don't remember. I know it's up there, but it's like back there somewhere.
I don't know. All I know is this was 24 minutes of wasted goddamn time.
Yeah, we literally covered it in what?
Not even 7 minutes.
Yeah, not even 7 minutes, and we pretty much got all the basics of what it was.
And Randy Orton didn't even, he came out there, he blew smoke up Cody's ass for 8 minutes, and then was like, oh, by the way, after Mania, I'm coming for your title. Why couldn't you just come out there and be like, by the way, after you kick John Cena's ass, I'm coming for your title? Skip over all the smoke up the ass. We get it. Cody is great. He's done some cool things as champion. We don't want to hear about it. We want to see about it.
What are you doing? Are you on the same thing we are?
Yeah.
Are you?
But yeah.
So we had the Street Profits and Pretty Deadly just walking backstage. Because they were actually, I guess, walking to the ring, but they didn't really say they were walking the ring because we cut to a commercial and then came back and they were coming out.
Yeah. It was honestly a pretty good match.
It was pretty good. It was back and forth.
And before we get to... We had, 6 matches?
5 or 6.
I'm pretty sure we had 6 matches in the 3 hours of content. As opposed to Monday Night Raw, where we had 4, and the rest of it was recaps and promos. And we literally started the show off with a 24-minute promo. Exactly like we did on Monday Night Raw. It's just ridiculous.
It is. But like I said, it was a pretty good match. It was pretty back and forth, but
yeah, nothing to right home about.
Like I said, these matches, I feel like, okay, my opinion, I love WWE. Do not get me wrong. But the matches over the past, they've been degrading.
100% agree.
Going into Mania, and you'll find out more of what we've been talking about here in a few,
Mm-hmm.
and the point that we're going to get to. But like we said, Street Profits won.
Yeah, they
And then
retain.
Yeah.
Hey, but like I said, DIY or not DIY.
Nobody showed up.
No, I was trying to say Pretty Deadly, but my brain's. I'm still like half asleep. I woke up like 30 minutes ago from a nap. Anyway, Pretty Deadly was doing phenomenal. And like you even said, this is their like face turn. I really want to see what they can do because I think they could be great champions. But obviously that's gonna happen anytime soon. And also, here's the thing that I didn't really think about. We have 5 tag teams on SmackDown, which sounds like a lot until you realize that means you have the champs, and then you have 4 other tag teams. So it's just going to be a bing, 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 until one of them beats them.
Pretty much, but yeah. Anyway, we cut to earlier tonight. Zelina's talking to Caden Carter and Katana Chance.
Mm-hmm.
About, they're basically...
we saw what the Secret Harvest did to you last week. They think they're untouchable. Someone's going to have to stop them eventually. And then the Secret Harvest walks in. One minor threat detected, but nothing we haven't dealt with before. And then Chelsea walks in. Zelina says, "Oh, the bootleg men in black are here to crash the party, and their ugly little worm. We all know I'm small, but I must be a big threat for you because it took all 3 of you to beat me last week." And then Caden Carter says, "So tonight, how about we even up the odds? See what happens when the odds are even." And then they have a match later tonight. Or I guess, yeah, because this was
But
earlier
we find out that they are, and I haven't looked at, I remember the match, kinda. But you gotta figure it would have been 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So... they're entering a new category in the Hall of Fame, the Immortal Matches. And the first match inducted into this, which is when they announced this, is Stone Cold versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. I do kind of want to go back and look at that match again, but again, like I said, I haven't done it. I want to do it out here with these two.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can find... In fact, I know on Peacock we can get probably Mania 13.
Yeah. And actually,
I'm probably sure we can probably pull it up on YouTube even.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing when they... Off subject, but that's our specialty. When WWE moves fully over to Netflix, I assume Netflix is going to have to get all the backlog of
They will.
The WrestleMania.
Because that's what they did when they moved
to Peacock.
To Peacock from WWE Network.
Mm-hmm.
They took all the backlog.
Yeah.
But
that'll be so nice, just having everything in one place.
I agree.
Of course, SmackDown is still going to be on the USA until like 2029 or whatever, but, Anyway.
Well, even for overseas, it's already over there.
Yeah.
Which, again, I wish we had a VPN. But irrelevant.
Ugh.
Then we saw Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns show up.
And they showed up. There was security, but that was pretty much it. I mean...
And then you had the Secret Harvest versus Caden Carter, Katana Chance.
Mm-hmm.
And it was okay. For a women's match, okay? It was
Yeah. It was... Yep. Like we said, these matches as of late, as of the past few weeks, they're not anything special. And I really hate to say that, because I want these matches to be great. You would think going into WrestleMania they would want every single match to be phenomenal, but they're more worried about their
promos,
terrible, awful promos. I'm sorry,
the
not sorry.
1,800 reviews.
The reviews, the recaps, the building up to... Like, literally, this entire thing with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre from the beginning of the show was completely useless. We didn't get any new information. We got a mediocre match out of it, which is a mild spoiler, I guess. But, I mean, like I said, you've already watched it, so you know what happened. I mean, it like this is 24 minutes of absolutely nothing, and it's been that way every single week, every single show, SmackDown and Raw.
But like I said, the Chelsea stepped up on the apron, distracted the ref.
Yeah.
Katana walks over to try to kick her. Chelsea jumps down. Piper pushes Caden into her. Piper pins Caden with a Piper driver. That's pretty much. I mean, it was back and forth.
Yeah.
But it was Like, and again, I know I say this every week. We say it every week. If you want a good women's match,
Hell, if you want good matches in general, go on NXT. The matches, even the men's matches down there, are far superior to anything we are getting on the main roster right now.
yeah,
I will say,
I agree.
just
100%.
hands down, because they're not worried about.
They're doing stand and deliver, but they're building the stories to stand and deliver.
Yeah, they're.
We're building the stories, but I feel like the WWE Raw and SmackDown going like, oh, you already know what the matches are, so
Yeah, here's just filler content for the next 4 fucking weeks. Actually, no, it's been like 2 months. It's gonna be like 2 months.
so we're not getting anything different.
Nope.
We're just getting the exact same shit. Like they literally did this contract sign. Once again, I know I'm skipping ahead, but like I said, they've already seen it. We've now done the contract signing for the triple threat. What are we gonna get out of them for the next 3 months, except the exact same
3
bullshit?
weeks.
3 weeks, yes, except the same bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, then we have in this. I'm sorry for a review. I will watch this on repeat. Okay. The slap.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all did not see the slap,
Oh, do we go over Zelina coming out?
oh no, I didn't.
Zelina comes out to the ring because they start attacking Caden and.
B-Fab.
But Zelina comes out to the
King
ring.
Carter and
B-Fab, right?
no, that's next. She comes out, takes out Agent P, takes out Agent A.
Then Agent P. Then Chelsea comes in and starts attacking her. She kicks her, and then P drops on her. Once again,
Which I've started calling them because that's kind of what they're referring to them.
Yeah, they're not even like Piper. They're not even Piper Nivens and
Alba Fire.
Alba Fire. They're Agent P and Agent A, which like, they really are the. Zelina nailed it on the fucking head. Bootleg Men in Black.
And their little ugly worm.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go this route, and maybe I'm wrong, but the worms weren't ugly. They were kind of cool and cute, for reals.
The what?
The worms in Men in Black.
Oh, I
Been
don't.
too long.
I think I've watched maybe one of them, but I don't remember
The
them.
worms were cool. I liked the worms, but irrelevant.
You know what? Now you got me curious. Cause like I said, it's been. What the fuck is that?
The worms.
What is
They're
this?
cute.
What? That is not a worm.
That's what they call them.
Oh! Aren't those the little guys that like live inside of people, but they're actual like
Yes.
giant mech suits or something?
No.
Like,
no.
aren't the people like mechanical things that the worms control from inside?
Mm-mm. You're thinking of something else.
I have no idea then. Anyway, back on
But they're
subject.
addicted to coffee and all that stuff. But irrelevant. Okay, but we get the review of the slap.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, again, I'm hoping you have seen this, but like I said, I can watch that slap on repeat. Like, that was just...
It was.
That's given.
It
I will get to it, but Jackie made a point of saying, I tell you what,
I know WWE is global, but I did not know that we would get the slap heard around the world, and that's what I was about to reference. That bit, like I said,
I mean, it was... Pow!
like I said, 4 days later, and his cheek is still stinging. It's probably still gonna be stinging when they get to Monday Night Raw.
But he goes, you know what, Jackie? You know what, Jackie? I will do it again. And I will keep on smacking him. I'm going to tell you this. My brother Jay is still all in his head. He's got his doubt creeping in on him. Just because he's 3-0 against Gunther, don't mean he's unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
The ring general can be got. And I will go to Raw, and I'll bust through his ass. My brother will go to Mania, beat Gunther, and he'll be walking out
Out of Mania.
Yeah, with all of us going,
Yeet. Mm-hmm.
which, and then he's like, he walks away, and here's another beautiful moment, because you get Miz and Mello talking about the slap.
Yeah, they're back there, you know, like
Giggling.
mocking him basically, and he said, and Miz is like, "You don't get it. You and your brother, your career's sidekicks. Gunther is the main character. You're not gonna beat Gunther, and neither is Jay. And let me tell you, another thing, like you two, another thing, you two are Roman's bloodline.
Doing it all the talking from outside the club.
Man, you can't even get in. Well, take it from a former WWE champion, Mania main eventer. You'll never know what it means to carry this industry, and after Mania, neither will Jay. Oh, and by the way, if you were to slap me like that, you would still be on the ground." And Jimmy, all he does is raise his hand back, and I'm not even shitting you. Miz, like full-on fetal position. It was beautiful.
And he's like, you know what? I'm going to go talk to Nick.
Because on Monday, I'm going to beat Gunther's ass. But tonight, I'm going to beat your ass.
Yep.
Basically what he says.
And then we get the Knight versus Strowman match for the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
Which Strowman's dominating. I mean, LA Knight had his shots. Strowman had his shots.
But for the most part, Strowman's whooping his ass. Because, I mean, he's Strowman. You know, what are you going to do?
He comes back with a bulldog to Strowman. Strowman starts with the Strowman Express.
And then Jacob attacks him. Samoan drop across the announce desk. LA Knight jumps in the ring and attacks Jacob. Jacob drops LA Knight and then continues to attack Braun. And he's delivering the hip attacks in the corner, and he delivers like 2 off the top moonsault. I mean, he did what you would expect from Jacob Fatu. He dog walks him.
But that's not the good part.
No.
The good part is backstage. Solo is like livid. He's like, "What was that? What was that? What were you doing out there?" And he says, "I ain't got to answer to nobody.
Yep.
You didn't say anything to me last week when you came out on me."
Mm-hmm. Solo says he's better lower his tone. Let me make this clear. And then Jacob's like, "Okay, let me make this clear for both of you. When it comes to Strowman, I will be the last man standing. So get it where it fit. In the U.S. title is coming home." Jacob says as he looks at Tonga, "I can do this with you," and then he looks at Solo, "or without you."
Which is leading up to what everybody's suspecting. Tonga is gonna walk with Solo.
Oh yeah, like I said, and we've called it Jacob versus Strowman last man standing match.
Yeah, we don't know when we're getting it. We're assuming Mania, but
I hope so. Like I said, Jacob gets put through that new reinforce. And you know what I even seen? Because I don't know how sturdy that thing is actually built, or if they have like a switch that makes it fall apart or whatever. But I can see Strowman, picking Jacob up and power bombing it. It's fine, and he just picks him up and keeps doing it over and over and over again until it finally collapses, and Jacob still gets back up. Or something, off the top rope, something spectacular for WrestleMania.
it needs to happen. Jacob or Braun be the ones to go through it, and that'd be. No. I'm gonna say Jacob goes to the table and crushes the table, and Strowman, the ref was like counting, gets to like 7, 8, and Jacob just sits up and gets to his feet, and everyone's like,
and Strowman just like at that point he just puts his hands up like, You build different, bro. You got it. you got it. You got it, bro.
And then we have the Naomi promo, and this was actually people are criticizing it, but it was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, Naomi's promo was wonderful. I thought anyway.
I have always been a woman to do the right thing. What makes you think that my attack on Jade was anything different?
From me doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing. When I sit here and I think about all that I've sacrificed and all that I've given, that really breaks my heart. Because through all of it, I don't understand how Jade came in, and I don't know where she took my place with you. Bianca, who was the woman that inspired you for over the last decade? Who had your back day one? Not Jade. I've learned through all of this, you teach people how to treat you. And I'm done when being the third wheel. I'm done with being pushed aside. I'm done with being nice. I'm done with being undervalued. Done being underutilized. Never appreciated. So moving forward, my message, Jade, if you stay in my way, I strongly advise you proceed with caution.
Like I said, this was a great promo.
Yes.
These are not the promos that I'm mad about. It's the 24 minutes of bullshit that I have a problem. But this was phenomenal.
But then you have Jade. It instantly goes to Jade backstage talking to Nick,
Mm-hmm.
and Jade's like, "I've been trying to get my hands on Naomi for the past week, but I haven't seen her all day." Nick's like, "No one has seen her all day, so as far as I know, she's not here." Jade says, "When I catch her, it's on sight."
Mm-hmm.
And then Jade walks out of the room, runs into
Michin and B-Fab.
And B-Fab is like, "What Naomi did was trash. Uncalled for behavior. And once you get your hands on her, I know you'll take care of that." Michin is like, "We both got business to handle. You with Naomi, me with Charlotte." B-Fab is like, "Naomi deserves everything that's coming to her. No sympathy, no regrets. Jade, do what you gotta do."
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to the promo.
Yeah.
That everybody's assuming is black.
425.
But we're getting... the story is we've got the 4. And where everybody was seeing the 3 was supposed to be like a slash.
Mm-hmm.
And 25, which would be the Smackdown immediately after Mania.
Which would make sense.
Which would make sense because we always get a few
surprises during and after Mania.
Yeah. So, pretty sure that's where that's going. And here's where we're going to kind of get into this a little bit. We had the Michin versus Charlotte, which Naomi attacks Michin and B-Fab, which, who saw that coming?
I was honestly surprised. I didn't expect her to attack them.
Before the match?
I know. I wasn't expecting her to attack them just because they were, agreeing with Jade. I would expect her to come after Jade. Excuse me, everybody. I have to go take care of a rat. Come on. You old Dingledorf. I knew I should have taken him out before.
Raining, isn't it? No, it's actually my side.
Oh, shit.
Front door.
Alright. So what we're going to do real quick is, we don't have anybody in here, but still, while he's gone, what we'll do is we're going to start doing, if you were watching this, Wednesday we are going to start doing games. We're probably going to do some random stuff mixed in. I did find a couple new games last night. I haven't told them about it yet. I know Knight Rider will probably like this one. It's called Mr. Potato. Hold on. What? No. Hear me out. This is how it's played. It's played like spades, only opposite. Like when you are, say, you set down a red card, nobody can play the red card. They have to play something different. Like there's red, green, yellow, blue, I think, and they have to play different colors. And if somebody lays down the same color, you win, or that goes by the numbers on the card. But there's Mr. Potato and Lord Fry. Lord Fry always wins if you throw down Lord Fry. He's like a spade. But if you have a Mr. Potato, you can play a Mr. Potato, and he automatically wins because Mr. Potato is the hero, and he always beats the villain, which is Lord Fry.
Yep, of course.
So, that's where that is. I don't remember what else I added to the cart, but I am looking at some other games. I'm looking at ones that people don't always like. When I go to look games up to see how to play them, see if I like them, watch people play them for 20 minutes, an hour, whatever. I sit there and I watch those to see if I think we'll like those games. I have found another one which I'm thinking about getting. It's the Rocky Picture Show, which is basically the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't know why they don't put horror in there, but and you have to travel through the castle, which I could not find a gameplay of it. I found literally a how-to play segment, but I didn't find anybody playing it.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking about getting that one probably next month. It's going to be a thing. Like I said, I'm going to really start working on getting some games that when I look up a game, when I find a game, I want to find the ones that nobody's playing. So when you guys go and look up a game, or when anybody goes and looks up a game, they're like, oh, there's this one group of people that have played it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones I really want to do.
Yep, exactly. Do ones that nobody else has.
Because I think that's what's going to make me different.
Yep.
Still waiting for Tafari to come in with the pooch. But yeah, so I guess we'll just go ahead and dive into this a little bit. I really don't want to, because there is a part in this that I know he's gonna. Here it comes. All right. I just talked about a couple games I'm working on.
Oh, excuse me.
But we get to the Mi Chen versus Charlotte match. Naomi attacks Mi Chen and B-Fab. Jade shows up, and like as soon as Jade gets to Naomi like bolts.
Oh yeah.
But proceed with caution. But I'm gonna run away when you show up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know she's gonna get the jump on her one of these nights.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. But Charlotte, Jade is helping B-Fab out of the up the ramp.
'Cause
Charlotte, of course, Charlotte being the egotistical maniac that she is,
comes
her
down.
music hits as everything's going on, so Charlotte can take advantage of it, blah, 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 like she does.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
Jade
stares her down. They both have this, like, staring match. Yeah.
yeah, just like sizing each other up.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a future match.
oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, okay, we talked about this last week, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up a little bit because we really don't have much to go over, not even with the rumors and stuff. So, and we're at 35, and last week, I think we only hit like an hour and 10, something like that. So, we got time to kind of run over things. Jade has only lost 3 matches in her career, at least like television career.
Yeah, like professional.
So, again, I know I've talked about this, at least to you guys. I was hot the day, and I know Knight Rider was watching it the day. I believe you were here. Because I was working at Burger King. I was working trying to think which one I was working at. Up by the Galleria. Anyway, I was working there and I was listening to it. Because our lobby was closed. I wound up having to close that night. So I was listening to it, had a earpiece in. And Charlotte Flair was the one that beat Asuka's streak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was so mad. Because I wanted Asuka to come in and just keep her streak going, and the first match she gets in there, Charlotte beats her.
Mm-hmm. Because she's Charlotte Flair, and she's
So
the
I do
golden
not
goose.
want this to be... If Charlotte beats her, I want Jade to show dominance in this.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Like, Charlotte is doing everything. And I don't want her to cheat, but understand that Jade can go back later and go... Basically the same thing Zelina said to the Hervis. You can't beat me without cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it took all 3 of you to beat me.
But, unfortunately, like I've said, time and time again.
But, like we said, Charlotte and Jade sizing each other up. And then the ref was like asking Michin if she can continue. And again, like even the announcer said, Michin's not going to give up.
No. And honestly, she did phenomenally. Like, she had beaten Charlotte.
Except for when she hit her knee on the step and then Charlotte beat
No. I'm saying, like, when she had that there was a pinfall where Charlotte was done. The only reason that she didn't win that match. Yeah. Her toe was just barely on the bottom rope. And that is a perfectly valid way of keeping the match going. But I'm saying, after getting attacked, as far as I'm concerned, Michin had Charlotte beat.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where I know Tafari is going to have an issue. Like I said, it was a good back and forth. But read the next line after a good back and forth.
God. This is Michin's first match since December 13th against somebody not involved in Chelsea Green's Secret Harvest. So let's see. January, February, March. 3.5 months of Michin versus Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Women's Championship. And yes, I said women's twice. It was on purpose.
Because that's what Chelsea calls it.
Point being, WWE has been doing this.
And again, this is where our problem falls.
Repeat after repeat after repeat after... In fact, you know what? I'm going to Google it. How many times has Michin faced Chelsea Green for the United States Championship. I probably spelled like half those words wrong, but 4 times. 4 title shots in 3.5 months. And she's been the only one up until last week to go against Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship. And you wonder why the women's roster on the main roster isn't as good on NXT. Fuck, I'd go as far as to say it's not even as good as TNA's at this point.
Yeah, because, like I said, we have been watching TNA, and I'll tell you who I like on there. Is, what is it, Spitfire?
Oh yeah, Spitfire's great.
I like them. They're kind of calm, but yet once they
Chaotic and...
Yeah, they're kind of
They
calm.
are exactly what their name says. They are Spitfire.
They're kind of calm when they're sitting there talking, but the minute they start kind of revving that engine,
Oh yeah.
they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I really, really like them. Like, they're probably my favorite women's tag team right now, at least on TNA.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you what. I think there's another women's tag team that is, and they were on TNA.
Mm-hmm.
They're on NXT, but they've been showing up on TNA.
Lash Legend
and
and...
Jakara Jackson, something like that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But we said before, Lash Legend is a beast.
Oh yeah.
Like I've just said, we need a woman's faction.
Yep.
Jade Cargill, Jordan Grace, and Lash Legend.
Oh,
He's trying to cheat everybody.
yeah.
As I've said, time and time again,
Major cheating.
you can't do that. That's cheating.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
Well,
Charlotte wins the match with a figure 8. But like I said...
Mi Chen hit her... She hit Charlotte outside the ring.
Right.
She flipped her over the rope. Got her over the rope. And then Charlotte's laying on the ground next to the... Or laying up against the
The
stairs.
steel, this chair,
And then she runs to try to kick her in the head with or runs to try to knee her in the face
and
against the steps and winds up hitting her knee.
against the steel,
And then,
steel.
Yeah, and then Charlotte gets back up.
Takes her into the ring. They have a little bit more.
She trips her, which hurts her knee again.
Yeah.
And then she pushes her in and locks her into a figure 8.
And Mi-Chin taps out. I was honestly expecting Charlotte to, like she did whatever her last match was against whoever it was, like holding the figure 8 after the match because she's a petty little bitch. But
a lot of people are criticizing Tiffy for her little thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, let's be real, Charlotte, you came out pretty hard last week. I mean, I had a lot of people talking. Charlotte loves to hear herself talk. And I mean, 10 years in the business, and she's so insecure. And she can't let a rookie get a word in. Last week, I learned, walking into Mania, I'm not the one that has something to lose. The truth is, if I lose, I lose to Charlotte Flair, the legend. As a 25-year-old rookie with a year on SmackDown, but if Charlotte loses, she loses to an undeserving, delusional, backflip doing blonde little girl. Did I get it all, Jackie? And I can't wait to see the look on her face when she hears, and still,
your women's world champion.
and she finally shuts up for sake shuts up for the literal sake of everybody. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, so I'm gonna make damn sure Charlotte's massive ego stays in Vegas, because walking out of Mania as a women's world champion.
Yup.
Like I said, that was a great promo.
Yes.
They're criticizing her because she brings up Charlotte, and she brings up the things Charlotte says about her, which I feel like everybody does.
That's part of what? People are fucking idiots. That's a part of smack talking. Guess what? If you're gonna say something about me when we're talking smack, I get to use it against you. I swear to God, people are fucking idiots.
Because she needed to be herself and not harp on what Charlotte said, and it's like, okay.
Have you listened to wrestling promos for the past
Exactly.
ever?
I agree. But
Exactly.
then we get another promo, which we get the Phoenix promo, which announced next week Smackdown.
But I found it interesting that the announcer said, you know, brother of Penta, part of the legendary Lucha Bros. So
we are eventually going to get them together.
Yeah, but I'm one actually. Penta's on Smack.
Raw.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And everybody has found that really interesting.
Yeah.
They still brought up that they are connected.
Despite them being on separate. And once again, I know I've said this, and it's not been quite as much as of late, but they really go wherever the fuck they want. I mean, it's mainly the champions like Cody, but I mean, even Punk has been showing up.
Look at this. Technically, they could have some meet up at Mania.
Yeah.
Because Jade and Bianca technically got together at a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And then decided they were going to challenge for the titles, became champions, and then could go together or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's basically whatever they choose.
Yeah, they really go, especially, like, they literally go wherever they want. CM Punk has showed up on Raw and SmackDown. Cody is
so
Raw
it's really not a limit.
No.
There's not.
It's more like you're mainly on this brand, but also if you want to go on the other one, go for it. We're not going to stop you.
Yeah, it's more of a suggestion.
Yeah, it feels. I feel like it's definitely more loosey goosey than it used to be. Because I feel like back in the day, it was far more like you're either on Raw or you're on SmackDown, and we have a few people who can go to both. But now they're like, go wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah. But we get to the Randy Drew match, which was pretty good. I mean, it was back and forth, but
once again,
it wasn't nothing.
She can wait.
It wasn't nothing like super exciting.
Yeah, like once again, you can disagree. Complete waste of time. It added nothing to the story.
No, because one, Randy's facing KO.
Yeah.
Two, Drew
doesn't even have a. Well, he's going against Priest. So this was just filler. This is filler content.
Because they had a tiff in the beginning of the show and all that.
Yeah, like.
But irrelevant. Drew tried to put Randy through the table. Randy countered and put him on the table.
Randy started to do his finisher, but took his attention off Drew because KO shows up.
And then Drew just claymoring.
And gets the 1, 2, 3. KO rolls Randy out of the ring, slams him on the announce desk, tries to power drive him, but Randy, pile drive him, but Randy gets him off, trips him up against the barricade, and he's going for the punt, but KO jumps off the barrier and takes off running. Once again, a complete waste of time. We've literally
Here's my biggest issue, and I noticed this when I rewatched it, kind of when I try to get kind of the highlights of it. Because I try to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
The first time we're watching it, so I watched it the second time and try to point out as much of the highlights and whatever as I can. But when KO showed up, there was no security.
Yeah.
The minute Orton goes to punt him, suddenly there's like 8 people.
That's what I've been like. Once again, at Elimination Chamber, I think it was, Kevin Owens was going to pile drive Sami Zayn on the concrete, end his career, possibly end his life. Nobody stepped in. Randy shows up. He attacks KO. He goes for the punt, and suddenly there's 50 million securities swarming the ring, holding him back. Yep. Sorry guys, I have to beat a cat real quick. Not really. I love my little fluff balls, but they're annoying as shit. Go. Anybody else? Well, I'm holding the knife, you Cecil.
Hey, you said anybody else?
Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, and then we get to the Jimmy versus Miz match, and I'm gonna tell you, really not that good of a match.
Yeah.
Because here's you said it. He didn't struggle with Miz, but he took too much time.
He struggled way more than he should have against The Miz when he's supposed to be going against Gunther next week.
Like we said last night, nothing against Miz. Okay, Miz is an average wrestler.
Yeah, in that ring.
But we're talking, compared to Gunther, Miz is like F below tier.
Yeah.
Like he's a 0 on the board, okay?
Like he wouldn't even register on Gunther's radar.
But you're going against Gunther, and you are...
Honestly, you want my opinion? This should have been Jay versus...
Miz.
No. What, Austin Theory from last week. This should have been, oh, I blinked and I missed it.
Yeah.
Like, this should not have been like, Miz had him down on the ground, was kicking him in the face. Like, this was a match. It wasn't a good match, but it was a match.
It was slow.
Yeah, Jimmy had to...
It seemed like there was moments to me that just kind of...
hit a brick wall, yeah.
Yeah, and they were like...
Like, we weren't like, smoothly, we were like, It was...
It wasn't... I'm not saying that there was any botches or anything bad about, like...
The moves, it didn't flow.
Slow. There wasn't a momentum. They just kind of seemed to, I'm going to knock you out of the ring. I'm going to crawl in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm going to stand here and I'm going to go up for a minute. You crawl back in the ring. And then we got to do this dance around each other for another minute. It's like...
I said,
Major snooze
Jimmy should not have... it shouldn't have been a contest.
No, you're going against... And again, that's something I didn't put in here. But, again, you're going against Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
And once Jimmy beat Miz with an Uso splash, he grabs the announcer's microphone and he's like, next week or on Raw, I face Gunther. So here's how this goes, or however he said it. He goes, next week, you become Private Gunther.
Yeah.
Because
I'm gonna beat your ass, basically, what he says.
And it's like, you struggled way too hard with the Miz to be talking about Gunther.
Like I said, this should have been, and I hate I hate those kind of matches. But if you're trying to build Jimmy up to go against Gunther, this should have been Jey Uso versus Austin Theory all over again. The bell should have rang, and the bell should have rang. You get me? But instead, we had like a 5-10 minute
dance fest.
Yeah.
They could have been doing Staying Alive in there and it would have been more exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do it. Put a twister board in there. That'd have been...
Yep, that'd have been a little bit better.
Like, I feel like, and they may, I don't know, I feel like they have all the pieces, all the makings to have this build up to Mania be fantastic. Yeah. And they're just continuously dropping the ball.
I think that's what they're trying to do with Jimmy, helping Jay build up his confidence, but I don't see how... Again, I could be wrong on their plan, but I don't see how Jimmy going in there and taking on Gunther. And I'm going to tell you, if that's the best he's got...
He's going to get dog walked. He like, it's not...
Sit down and let...
Your best bet is to go in that ring when the bell rings, drop to the mat.
Yeah, and let him pin you, but he's not going to.
Exactly.
Because again, guys, I want to make this clear, and I'm sure both of you agree. I love the Usos. They are a great tag team. They are great individuals. Jay has been doing good. Jimmy, okay.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten as much of the spotlight, but still.
But the Usos, when they were a tag team, and I'm not saying I want them back as a tag team, but when they were a tag team, they were golden.
Yeah, they were the greatest of all time, or at least one of them.
Exactly.
You know, and to have them being these two separate individuals,
and yet still trying to stick them together.
it seems very off.
Like, I get the idea that Jimmy's going for, like, I'm gonna go beat Gunther, and then Jay.
I'm gonna show you that he can be beat.
Yeah.
If this, and like I said, if the Miz is any sign of the best he's got,
he's not gonna stand a prayer in hell.
No, he might as well just lay on the ring.
Gunther is going to destroy him.
Yep.
And I really hope that I want it to be like, because like I said, the last few matches Gunther's been in against Axiom, against Otis. He's been struggling. Like, they didn't beat him, obviously, but he's not been just going in there and destroying them. Like, he's had to fight.
You know what the thing is? I don't know if I really like that. I mean, I'm saying I want a good match.
Mm-hmm.
But Gunther, we need something, because you're right. It's looked like Gunther is struggling. Why?
I don't think that's a bad thing, though, because here's the thing. The reason I say that's not a bad thing is because, don't get me wrong, Gunther is S+++. He is arguably the best wrestler around nowadays. And that's why he's the World Heavyweight Champion. That's why he hasn't lost those matches. But it goes to show that just because he's up here doesn't mean everybody else is down here. They could be up here. Or even just, you know...
I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, because Gunther has always come out, when he was facing, like, Sammy, confident.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not getting an answer to why you're kind of seeing that I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying he's struggling, but he's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's doing these things that are more heel, and I don't feel like he needs to do that.
I 100% agree, and I think they kind
with the Jay coming up behind him and attacking him. It's never been a Gunther thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a prime example, when Kaiser came out and attacked Priest, was it? Or was it Balor?
It might have been Balor. I don't remember. It was one.
It was Balor. Because they had their little thing for a while. He attacked Balor. Gunther lost it.
Mm-hmm. Or like when Balor came out and attacked Priest, Gunther kicked his head off his shoulders.
And now he's resorting to these tactics.
Well, I think, and not that I agree with it, but I think they kind of led into this. Like the last time he fought Damian Priest, you know, he was a wreck. Like he was backing away, he had lost his confidence, and now this is him regaining it, but it's been regained in like a egotistical, I'm better than everyone, you know, you don't deserve to be in my ring type of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I agree that Gunther doesn't need to do this stuff.
Nope.
But anyway,
this was kind of funny. We had Drew walking backstage, and he's talking to Louis Capaldi, which is a singer-songwriter from London. I've never heard of the guy, don't know what he's saying, haven't got a chance to really look him up. But he's like, I'll meet you at the pub, you go watch the contract signing, I'm going to go get mad wasted, is how he words it.
Yeah, and then Jackie Redmond shows up, and he's like, I don't care about other people's business. When nobody screws me over, when nobody gets involved with my business, I win. I defeat Randy Orton. I called out Damian Priest last week, and he's not even showing up. Not everyone has the balls. And, you know, tonight I'm going out to the pub. Everyone's invited to get wasted with Drew and Louis Capaldi. And then he goes, opens the door, and you just see Priest standing there menacingly. And then he pops him in his gob.
And they just start
brawling.
And then he slams him through the windshield of a car.
Yeah, first he slams him in like the trunk. And the guy in the car gets out and goes, "What are you doing? This is my car." And Priest just picks him up and fucking tosses him like a sack of potatoes. Then Drew gets the upper hand, takes him up onto the hood of the car, and goes to hit him with, I don't know, something or other. But Priest grabs him, hits him with a South of Heaven onto the windshield. It cracks. And he's like, "Oh, I'm done, for now." And then he gets down, and his face is like, "Yeah, you got any more jokes?" Yeah, and then he says like, "Rotten hell, jackass," or something to those extent, and then walks off.
Yep. And he goes, and then he starts complaining, "I got glass in my eye, I got glass in my eye." Mm-hmm. And then you see Punk walk by, and he's just got a smile on his face as he's walking by, and Drew's still complaining about the glass in his eye.
Yeah, he sort of stops, looks, grins and nods, and then just keeps on walking. It was beautiful.
But then we have the absolute waste of time, which I have cut so much out of this and still have a shit ton of stuff. That's the sad part.
Yeah, Nick is out in the ring for the contract signing, and Roman takes like 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. We had Roman come out to the ring. He gets about halfway to the ring, we cut to commercial.
When we come back, he's still
outside the ring, gloating about, him being great. Everybody's chanting
Roman
Reigns.
Yeah, Roman Reigns finally gets in the ring.
And he's like, "Acknowledge me, blah, blah, blah," all that crap. But Roman comes in the ring finally. Paul moves the chair to the head of the table.
Yeah.
Because we know Roman can't sit on the side. Mr. Ego himself.
Yeah, the head of the table. So he sits down. He's like, "London, acknowledge me. I came here to do 2 things tonight." What was the first one? The first thing was to be acknowledged. Check. The second thing was to sign a contract. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Check.
I'm done. And he goes to get up, and then Seth Rollins' music hits.
Yeah. And I feel like he didn't take nearly, he took like maybe a few minutes to let them sing, which is fine.
But he's like, "I don't know why you're in such a hurry to leave. Man, this is our building.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of history here. 12 years ago, we landed on the roof of this place in a helicopter. Came down those stairs right there, ready to burn down the old guard and put the Undertaker through the table. We were ready to make this company in our image. Don't get me wrong. A lot has happened the past 12. We fought against each other. We fought at each other's side. We've lost, we hate. London, our mission, we accomplished our mission." Roman's like,
You keep saying
our mission. We died.
A long time ago. It's only been me. You've been here, but I've done all the work. I've made this play what it is today. It took us to the level where we are here today. We found it. I'm the one who made us desirable to Netflix. And Seth is like, that mindset right there. That's what keeps me having to screw you. You understand that? Your biggest mistake is not understanding the danger that's right in front of us. The danger that's right in front of you. You let the biggest snake in the world, CM Punk...
Someone's at the front door doorbell.
Give us a second, guys. Oh, you can't. Oh, hold on.
Front door.
Well, I'll just bring it in.
Yeah.
No, she sells.
Okay.
Back to it. He says, you let the biggest snake in the world, CM Punk,
Into the garden.
And you didn't cut off his head. Instead, you shook his hand. You could have let me finish him inside the cage of the garden, but you didn't. And now I am left to do what I always do. Clean up your mess again. And then he signs the contract. Punk shows up and he says, I came here to chew bubblegum and sign a contract. And I'm out of bubblegum. So he sits down. He starts like flipping through the pages, reading the contract. And Roman says, you need a highlighter, man? It's on page 4, clause 5. Come on, we're on TV. Today, Junior. Wise man, please go smart him up already. So Paul gets a mic, goes down to CM Punk's side, and he's like, I know what you're looking for. It's in there. You're closing the show at WrestleMania. You get to live your dream. CM Punk, a WrestleMania main eventer. And Punk starts to cry. Roman is like, one man's dream is another man's favor. And then Seth is random.
He goes, check.
Yep.
And that's what set Seth off.
Yeah, Seth is like, no, this is not something to laugh at. Wipe those tears out of your eyes. You don't deserve it. It means more to me than anything to main event WrestleMania. But more to me than anything that you never do. He doesn't deserve this. This is your fault, both of you. CM Punk says, thank you, London. Thank you, London. Thank you, Chicago. Thank you, Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you for the fans. Thank you, as corny as it sounds, to the WWE Universe, who stood by and chanted my name for 10 long years. Roman Reigns says, it's because of me that you're in the main event. So please, take this moment. Let's close the show with a big thank you and an acknowledgement of your tribal chief. Go ahead. Now let's do it right now. Punk gets down on one knee next to Roman and says, thank you, my tribal chief, the holder of the Ulafal. I know I'm being funny. The head of the table. The big dog. Thank you for allowing a kid from Chicago to be graced by your presence. Thank you, my tribal chief, for allowing me to stand in your ring. And thank you so very much. Thank you, Roman Reigns, so very much. But because of you, I will see you in the main event of WrestleMania. And then he signs the contract. He stands up and he says, thank you. But that's not the favor. And the show ends. And I even called that. As soon as Roman said it, I'm like, that's not the favor. That he got something else up his sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's going to be beautiful when it finally happens.
Oh, yeah. And so we got a little bit of the spoilers, rumors, whatever. Saraya, a.k.a. Paige, is expected to sign with WWE sometime soon. One rumor is she'll be taking over for Nick on Smackdown as he wants to return to in-ring. Night 1 of WrestleMania will have Randy Orton versus KO. Again, that is a rumor. Supposedly it was leaked that they have that planned for Night 1. A WrestleMania 9 documentary is coming to Peacock. It is called Becoming a Spectacle. Go ahead.
WWE is expected to announce Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view, before WrestleMania or at WrestleMania, which I don't think we don't have a date because it's just a rumor right now.
Yeah.
So, but that'd be cool. And then we have a few betting odds for Mania, starting with Cena versus Cody. Cena, and remember, betting odds are weird. Negative numbers are good, positive numbers are bad, because I don't know. Cena is surprisingly at negative 250 versus Cody, who's at positive 170. So I guess people are betting on Cena to win that, but it's still pretty close.
That's still pretty close for betting odds. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta think. That is really close.
And then you have Jay versus Gunther, with Jay at negative 800 and Gunther at positive 425. So he's pretty favored to win, which makes sense, because that's the thing is, like, everyone's out here saying, like, oh, Jay's not gonna win, but if Gunther retains,
Hold on. I'm gonna snip this real quick before we go down this path. I mean, you can continue down it, but these are not definite.
oh, I know.
Because if you remember, Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Cena was favored to win by the landslide.
By like 5,000 or something.
Yeah.
3,000. I mean, they had him like
Exactly.
crushing it.
Oh, yeah, and he still lost. But what I'm saying is, if Gunther retains, where does he go from here?
I feel like
Because here's the thing. You can only... I mean, look at Roman Reigns. He was champion for 1,000 days. But he was only that because of the bloodline. And I'm not saying Gunther is a champion who could be a champion that long simply because he's that good. But my point is you can't have character development if your character is just always winning all the time, you know?
Exactly.
If they want Gunther to grow as a character, he has to lose. He has to change.
And like we said, and maybe this isn't the time, but I want to see a face Gunther.
I do too. Like we said, we all wanted to see a face Charlotte, but that didn't fucking happen.
But I feel like Gunther is right there on that cusp. Like, with a couple little tweaks, even keeping it, like you said, keep his character 100% intact. Like Tiffy.
Yeah, like Tiffy before she was going against Charlotte. She was doing that middle card phenomenally.
And
like,
then suddenly, oh, Charlotte's going to be the heel. Boom,
Yeah.
flip her back.
Like, you know, she was like, you know, everyone was cheering for her, but she wasn't coming out there like, oh, I love you guys, you're all great. She was like, no, I'm awesome, I'm the best, and you all run on Tiffy time, and people loved it.
We ate it up.
Gunther could come out there and be like, I am the best in the world, I am the ring general. However he says, I'm not German, I can't pronounce things well. But you get the point.
You can barely pronounce them in English.
Exactly. Anyway, moving on, we have Flair versus Tiffy, which, once again, this is a very close match, and it's not anything definite. But Flair is favored to win at -140 versus Tiffy, who's at a positive 100. So, like you said, that's like the closest match so far.
Yeah, the only one that's probably close compared to that is the Cena Cody. Well,
Yeah.
figure it out. If you have, you probably got what, 240 points between them. You've got like 100,
You're like 300 and...
maybe 200 between Charlotte. I mean,
Yeah, you have you have 240 between Charlotte and, or Tiffy and Flair. You have, oh, math. 300, like 420 between Cena, yeah. But then you have Roman, Seth, and Punk with Roman at -200. Why the fuck are people wanting Roman? I don't understand this.
but look, hold on. I want you to look at this though. Like those are pretty even
Yeah,
numbers
it's
across
still
the board.
close. Anyway, Roman is -200, Seth is at +140, and Punk is at +300. Why I genuinely don't. Here's the thing. I wasn't even around. I wasn't even watching wrestling when Roman Reigns was doing his 1,000 days of being a champion by being a cheating little shithead. And I, for some reason, seem to be the only sane motherfucker around who's like, this guy is... You get the point.
Yeah.
He's still the same jackass. Why are people suddenly cheering for him? I don't get it. I guess because everybody hates Solo now, and Roman is suddenly the fucking second coming of Jesus or something. I don't know. Oh, wait, no, that's, what's his name?
Gray.
No, Joe Hendry.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Anyway,
That's his little.
then you have Orton versus KO. This is not, it's a landslide. Orton is at -1,000. KO is at +550. It's not even close. Orton's gonna punt his head off his shoulders.
And everybody's thinking that KO's wanting time off.
Yeah, that
or
would make
whatever.
sense.
Probably healed from the injuries.
Of hell yeah, I mean yeah, like that's the thing is like those injuries were not fake. Like he went through that ladder and he got fucked up.
But again, like I said, we're gonna cut it a little bit short. Next week on Smackdown,
From
we got
from Chicago, Illinois, which I wish we could go, but we're broke.
We have B-Fab versus Naomi and Ray Phoenix.
And then on Raw, we have Io Sky versus Ripley with Bianca as the guest referee. So we all know that's not going to end properly. It's going to turn into a triple threat at Mania, which is just...
And then...
Logan calls out AJ and Cena, Cody, take 3. So we're going to have probably 30 minutes of bullshit this time.
You like how I labeled that take 3? Because guess what? It's going to be, not only are we going to get the review of the last 2 weeks, we're going to get a review in the ring of the same shit
that we
just heard in the review from the other 2 weeks for the 3rd week. In case y'all forgot what was said 5 seconds ago, because they think we all have the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah, John Cena's going to come out and be like, you are all terrible people. In fact, you suck. In fact, you should all die. What are we doing? Like I said, I'm excited for WrestleMania. But as the weeks go, I'm getting less and less excited because it's just... We have we don't have all the matches, but we have the matches, and we're just getting filler content.
We don't want filler content. We want good matches that lead to the next story. Here's the thing. Even if we don't get a story that leads into Mania, we can get a story that's out of Mania.
Yeah. Fuck. How about, like, Chelsea Green, for example? Chelsea Green doesn't have to wrestle at WrestleMania. She probably is going to. But...
guess who's going to be against?
Michelle. I swear to God, if Michin gets a title shot against Chelsea at WrestleMania, I'm going to be so fucking pissed off. 5 title shots in like 4 months.
But here's the thing. Before we cut off here, because we're still doing pretty decent for time. Who called out who? Logan, AJ.
I feel you
gotta remember, AJ said he was gonna call out Logan, and Logan showed up. So does AJ come out to start the show, calling out Logan?
I don't know if it's gonna be it's not going to start the show because Cena's gonna start the show, but what I can see happening is what I think would be awesome, funny anyway, is we get a little, earlier tonight, and it's Cross coming up to AJ and be like, you're going to let this little shithead come out, however he words it, because he's wonderful.
Awesome at wording.
Yeah, he is the puppeteer, as he says.
I like that shirt.
And AJ comes out and he's like, all right, Logan, get your bitch ass out to this ring so I can kick it up your throat. Or something like that. Because like Karrion Kross has said, the last time that AJ came out there and, attacked Paul, he's like, that was a little evil. I want a lot of evil. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying AJ is going to turn heel, because you can't be a heel against Logan Paul. It's simply impossible.
That's another thing I want to bring up real quick. There's a lot of talk backstage that probably a good 60 to 70% of locker room absolutely hates Logan Paul.
Good! They should! Because, like I've said, I do not care. He could be like I've said time and time again, he could be the greatest wrestler of all time, no doubt about it.
Let me, before you go down that road, I'm going to tell you why. And this is exactly where you're going. Because Logan Paul did nothing to earn or anything for WWE. He's not even a wrestler.
Nope.
He never went through NXT. He's instantly jumped out of the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly gotten title shots.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's a lot of backlash in the locker room over Logan.
Yeah. Because like I've
because
said,
he's He's an entitled little prick.
Like I've said time and time again. He could be the greatest wrestler of all time. He could go out there, he could beat Gunther's ass, he could beat Undertaker's ass 5 times in a row, all by himself, 2v. I do not care. He could be the second coming of Jesus Christ. He is a complete dog water human being. He does not deserve to breathe air. He shouldn't even get to step foot in a WWE arena, very much less in the ring.
Exactly.
But that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Like I said, I want AJ to come out there. I want him to beat his ass.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes.
But I think we're going to wind up with that match at Mania.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, so be prepared for Monday, take 3.
Yeah. But I think that's about it, unless either of you have anything.
I always
Nope.
have something to say.
Is it important? Exactly. So, if you made it this far in the stream, guys, go ahead, give us a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. If you want to chat with us about WWE, board games, video games, comic books, anything like that, go ahead, join our Discord channel. If you want to help support us, you can donate with the big red button in the About Me section.
Press the button.
But aside from that, we ain't got much else. I'm Telfari.
I'm CK.
Knight Rider, and we're out.
Bye.